All right, in this really quick video, I'm going to go into what the central fill is, why hundreds of people showed up to the Capitol just a few days ago to protest the compromise bill, which will be the replacement bill the state legislature has come up with that will replace Proposition 2 that we, the voters, passed. So, why people are up in our arms and about it, and also, what is economic fascism? All of that is going to be in this quick video. So let's go out here to the Foundation for Economic Education. The Foundation for Economic Education, I believe, is nonpartisan, and basically it just points out a lot of really nice foundational elements, and it points out what is economic fascism. So obviously, when people talk about fascism, they're usually talking about Mussolini and Hitler, totalitarian dictatorships. I'm not claiming that the church is a totalitarian dictatorship, um, but what we are talking about is when the free world flirts with fascism and how to look out for that. So, what we're talking about when we first bring up the idea was the Italians called it a corporatist system, where it basically allowed the state to pick out winners and losers, for the people to be subservient to the state. In the U.S. Constitution, we believed in classic liberal philosophy, in which we wanted to protect the rights from government encroachment. We wanted to protect the rights of individuals from government encroachment. That's really why the Mormon pioneers came to Utah. I mean, the people who are crafting this incredibly terrible legislation for the compromise fail to recognize that the Mormon pioneers, a lot of us, including myself, have a lot of pioneer ancestry. We came out here to find escape from tyranny, from oppression. And the idea is that classic liberal philosophy should protect individual rights. And that's why our Constitution was crafted the way it was. So when we get into flirting with fascism, we start to say, well, the government and the business should create partnerships. Why don't we have the government partner with the free market, partner so that the government can be more involved? Because the free market's a scary thing. And sounds very nice, doesn't it? Let's have the government protect us from the free market. And so what we're enabling here with the central fill is the central fill essentially enables the government, and when I say the government, I mean the church, to use the government as a tool to absolutely control and manipulate this giant sector of the free market. And why is this important? It's because when we're talking about medical cannabis, we're talking about an industry, a sector that is no doubt going to make massive waves in the free market. I mean, already medical cannabis is the replacement go-to drug of choice for anybody who has epilepsy. Absolutely. Far more effective than anything on the market that Big Pharma has to offer. It is absolutely going to be the go-to med for anybody with chronic pain. Because unlike opioids, you can't OD on medical marijuana, and it has fewer side effects than opioids. When people talk about anxiety and depression, a lot of people in Utah suffer from those things. Medical cannabis will become the go-to medication because it has far fewer side effects than SSRIs. So this is not a small, trivial matter. We need to understand how what it is that our Utah legislature is proposing is nothing short of fascism, economic fascism. And so I want to also point out here how the idea of government and mandated collaboration, as we find the government wants to do with this central fill idea, um, is basically what Mussolini and Hitler did to take over control of the economy. Because when the government has the ability to choose winners and losers, everybody is then subservient in the free market to the government. Me just speaking out about this awful policy of medical marijuana being put under the auspices of the government would enable me to be a loser. You think I could get a license from the government for medical cannabis if I'm speaking out against it? Hell no. And so that's what's gonna. I'm just gonna stop the video now. That is what I'm going to go into in much more detail tomorrow, Thursday at 5 p.m. in episode 5 of the Utah Stories podcast. If you would go back and check out episodes 1 through 4, you'll learn all about the medical cannabis legislation, and you'll learn about why our freedoms should be put at the forefront of what we're examining when we're looking at local news. That's what Utah Stories attempts to do with our publication, and that's what I want to do in this podcast. Thanks for watching. Be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow.